Is Pat McGrath officially back? Hi team, I'm Anna, makeup creator, teacher, and educator, specifically for people with hooded eyes. I love everything eyeshadow, everything makeup. We talk about a lot of different things on my channel, and I have a couple of favorite brands whose launches I always pick up and review for you guys. Pat McGrath Labs is one of those brands. So without further ado, I did pick up one of the items of their newest launch, which is their holiday launch and holiday collection. Those are always the most exciting for me, and I always pick up something from the holiday collection. I picked up one eyeshadow palette, which is called the Luminous Legends Mega Eyeshadow Palette, and today we're going to be talking about it, swatching it, reviewing it, and also comparing it to some of the other holiday palettes from previous years. I am not wearing the palette on my eyes right now. I was filming something else, but once we get to the eyeshadow application, I'm going to take this off, obviously. All right, so let's take a look at the cardboard box it comes in. Basically the same thing as a couple previous years where I've been picking up their holiday launches. Just a really beautiful cardboard box. It says that it is an eyeshadow palette and the shelf life is 12 months, which is not too bad, but obviously it is only 1 year. I'm going to be using it for way longer than that. Sorry about that. This is the palette itself, and I gotta say it is a little bit smaller than what I'm used to, but at the same time, the price point of this was $76 US, which as far as I remember, the other holiday launches were about $82. If we take a look at the Pat McGrath Labs Mothership Mega Celestial Nirvana, it is a little bit bigger than what we have on our hands to date, but at the same time, this did cost more, and this new one is not called a Mothership Mega. So they were not trying to make these look the same, but the packaging kinda, looks kinda similar. So let's look inside. This is what the palette is looking like inside. It has a really, really gorgeous and colorful shimmers and really cute, buttery, soft looking mattes. From the looks of it, there isn't a crazy, shimmery, glimmery Pat McGrath special formula in this palette, which is not something that I expected to find anyways. So I am pretty happy with the way it looks like. And immediately when they showed their palettes and their entire collection on the website, or was it on their Instagram, I immediately knew that I'm gonna pick this up because there's color. And let me tell you, the last couple Mothership palettes from Pat McGrath were really disappointing personally for me because they looked all pink and like the same. So I was waiting for something colorful from Mother Pat, and she delivered. In my humble opinion, of course the mattes are same brown warm mattes as usual. Well, actually this one looks kind of cool, so not all warm, but the shimmers and the textures in this palette look really interesting. The colors are unique. I love that we have blues and purples and this yellow here. I think that this will look really gorgeous on the eyes, and most of all, what I like about this palette is that it is very versatile. Assuming that the quality is the good Pat McGrath quality, you could definitely come up with a really wearable look, a really beautiful glam, or a colorful, fun, creative makeup look. This is what I love to see. This is what I love to see. So first we're going to swatch this baby on the back of my hand, then create a little look. Well, I want to try a bunch of shades, so probably something fun and colorful, and then after that we are going to compare it to the previous palettes and see if we can find any dupes. Again, I gotta mention, I do love that there's a little mirror here, and I think that maybe there's less grams here than in other palettes, and the shadows are kind of more compact, which I kind of prefer because now I think I can fit it in my makeup bag when I travel, whereas the Mega Mothership was a little too big for traveling, even though I really loved the colors inside. But anyways, let's get to swatching. So the first row is kind of like, ooh, feels really nice and soft. Wow, that shimmer was nice. Kind of like warm, bronzy. Wow, that looks spectacular. I missed Pat McGrath. It's been a while since I picked up a palette from them. So we're going to start with the shades Stardust Peony, which is insanely gorgeous. I already love this shade so much. Sunkissed Rose, beautiful, kind of more like a satin shade, I want to say. Flame Fatale, oh my god, amazing name for an amazing shade. That is wow. Okay, Rose Afterglow. I want to mention that I'm coming in here being all sassy because I'm not used to getting what I want from Miss Pat, but this is gorgeous. I'm actually in love with this. I have been humbled. Okay, last one is Golden Muse. God, I'm blind. I think that this shade is is spectacular, and my swatch is not going to get adjusted. So let me pick it up on another finger because this looks like a little duochrome moment. Golden rose. There you go. I feel like with a base, it's going to look better. But this is the first row. Wow. These 5 shades in a look. Come on. Gorgeous. Actually speechless. Actually stunning. I missed you, Pat McGrath. I officially missed you. I missed this feeling. Oh my God, I'm so excited right now. Let's get to row number 2. So that was the most boring row in my opinion. So I don't even know how I'm gonna feel about the next one. Everything feels extremely smooth. These formulas remind me of her 5 panners, which are really, really good. So we're gonna start with the shade Platinum Lilac. Wait. All of the shades I said in the first row were incorrect because I was reading them the other way around. So apologize for that. We're gonna start with a Coral Caress. Beautiful. Bordeaux Brilliance. I want this all over my eyelid. Look, it swatches for days. Orchid Opulence. That sounds familiar. Didn't she have this shade somewhere? Monolith Mist. Beautiful, beautiful blue. And last I've got Platinum Lilac. So this last shade, Platinum Lilac, I think I will have to use today because wow, these shimmers unmatched. Like these all 4 shimmers I am in love with, obsessed. So stunning. I don't know what to choose to use today. They're all so gorgeous. I truly missed this. I feel like the formula in this big palette is like in those 5 panners, which is, I feel like a little bit better than the Mega Mothership. I don't know why, but it's softer, which means that it's easier to apply with like fingers and not brushes, but at the same time, it's just so buttery and it looks so opaque. I love this formula from her. I don't know if this is a favorite of many people, but definitely my favorite formula. All right, let's get to the last row, which these last 2 shades are so beautiful because they are cool, like with a cool undertone. I love it. I feel like I have this shade. I'm gonna go and pull out my 5 panners in a bit, but look at that blue. How gorgeous is that? All right, we have Honey Nectar. Beautiful, kind of more simple shade, but still very reflective. We have Celestial Cerulean. Insane for a blue smoky. Come on. We have Gilded Bronze, which is also super beautiful and looks like the shade I got, but I will double check that. Lunar Luxury. Yeah, this looks like one of my favorite shades by her. I'm gonna have to compare it. The last shade in this row is Sable Seductress, which is going to be one of the most useful shades in this palette because it's the deepest matte. Stunning, gorgeous. Again, I gotta double check if these shades are new or not because I would hate to see that I already have these 2, to be honest with you. When I'm paying $76, I want all new shades, but that's on me. I should have double checked that. Nonetheless, looks gorgeous. If you don't have any other Pat McGrath palettes, run. I already know they're gonna perform amazing on the eyes. Let me pull out the 5 panners. Yep, I definitely saw some similarities, some exact shades, but we're gonna get to this at the end of the video. Overall, super pleased with swatches. Honestly, gorgeous. This made me so happy. I was definitely not in the mood for anything today, but this made me so happy. So I'm gonna go take this makeup off and we'll create something really gorgeous. Okay, let's get into the makeup look. I definitely want to keep it cool, so I'm gonna use these like brown neutrals, and then I do want to use a bunch of color like the blue and the purple. That's definitely right up my alley. So I'm gonna start with this shade on like a fluffy brush, and I am just going to concentrate this on the outer portion and then kind of drag it inward. Honestly, not as cool as I thought it would be. Kind of giving a little bit of pink. That happens sometimes. I did apply a little bit of eyeshadow primer, so that's all sorted out. Yeah, this is definitely more pink than cool toned. I guess it's mauvey in the pan. I guess I just wasn't expecting it to give out this much warmth, but we can work with it. It's still really pretty and it blends itself, but it is warm. Just blending that on the outer portion and bringing whatever's left inwards. Now this makes me really want a cool tone matte here because our options are limited with matte shades, always with Pat McGrath, and now we only have one deep brown that is cool toned. That's just kind of not enough for me, but again, I'm gonna work with it. This shade feels kind of like hoodie, kind of like creamy texture, like Natasha Denona cream to powder, I want to say. Not as much, but close. So this is that first initial shade. I'm gonna get into the brown, dark brown shade in hopes that it will help me not only deepen things up, but also cool things a little bit. I don't think that is gonna happen. This is also leaning a little bit warmer than I thought, but what can you do? Pat loves her warm tones. That is a given, but at the same time, like, these shades look so beautiful nonetheless. Like, even though they're kind of warmer than I expected, warmer than in the pan, they do still blend themselves really gorgeously. By the way, I'm just adding the same shades on lower lash line and kind of like adding it to the outer third, I want to say, and I'm just using a smaller brush. This one wasn't too small, but I'm gonna buff it out with a clean fluffy brush. And then I'm gonna add a little bit more of that depth on the outer corner. Maybe I will take a smaller brush. I'm kind of messy right now. I've been filming for many hours, so being a little bit messy. All right, I'm gonna add that deep tone just over here. Yep, stunning. And then one more time with a big fluffy brush, and the first shade kind of go over everything and make sure that everything is nice and diffused. Okay, it doesn't look too warm, it just looks neutral. It doesn't look cool at all, but like at least it's neutral now. There's a little bit of pink peeking through, but I don't mind it. These shades are really pretty nonetheless. Now what are we doing with the beautiful shimmers? We're definitely using that lilac in the front portion of the eyelid. Do we go for the blue, the deep blue? Yeah, we should. Why not? We should. All right, so I'm gonna go for the deep blue first, pick it up on my finger and place it through the center of my lid without any base or anything. I feel like this would benefit from an actual base or glitter glue or something like that, but it's very opaque nonetheless. This is a lot, but like in a good way. So now we need to try and get this lilac shade through the inner portion and kind of mix the two. I'm gonna do this with my finger, and then because I can't really get that far, use a brush to help me blend a little bit over here. Not really sure about that color combo. I think I like it. Yeah, I can't get in there. Just gonna have to do it with a brush, which honestly works totally fine. I feel like I want to blend this brown shade kind of like more like into the shimmers. I don't know if it's just me, but it feels a little bit unfinished if I don't kind of mix them together. Yeah, for like a little bit of a softer transition. I feel like that works a little bit better. I don't know, it just felt a little bit unfinished. Otherwise, the lilac shade is absolutely gorgeous. I actually love it so much. Let's add this yellow shade in the very inner corner. Not really sure if that's the best strategic decision on my part, but I just really want to try that shade out. The brush needs to be wet or something. I'm just layering it. Obviously it would look great applied with a finger, but I won't be able to get there, so I'm just using a flat brush here, couple of layers. It's a very beautiful shade. Ooh, I love this. I feel like a neutral look with this palette would also rock. I'm gonna add this shade in the middle of the other two shimmers to bring some pink in, because more is more. I feel like it could work. Now I want to do like a fiery warm look with this palette. It's just so inspiring. Pretty. This look is giving me 2016 vibes. Am I the only one? I'm not sure this is like my look of choice or anything, but I'm pretty happy with it because I really want to try those shades. I feel like a bronzy look with that palette or just like blue smoky would look amazing. But let me pull myself together, get some liner and mascara on, and then show you the final result and compare this baby to the other Pat McGrath palettes. Okay, so I added eyeliner and a lash, and now I love this look way more. Now it looks really cute and gorgeous and stunning, and I absolutely love these colors, and the colors made me so happy. So overall, I am pretty pleased with this palette. I am not pleased that I did not do the research and check that I already have some of these shades, but I don't think that would have stopped me because there's only a couple shades that I own, and the palette itself is so gorgeous, and I really was craving something from the brand because I don't think they're coming out with a mothership palette this year, which is very unfortunate, but nonetheless, I'm happy that I picked this up. This is my Pat McGrath palette for the year, and I'm really happy I have it. Now let's get into some comparisons. So I already did show you the Pat McGrath Labs Mothership Mega Celestial Nirvana from 2022, if I am not mistaken, and this is what it looks like. One thing I will complain about is that I really love these things that you could really just place the palette, do your eyeshadow, and look in the mirror. I loved that. They did not do this here, but if that's what did cost $6, then I'm fine with that because I do think I paid $82 for this boy right here. Take a look at the color stories. Kind of similar in a sense that there's blue, there's pink, and then there's some brown mattes. This one has a little bit more variety because some of the mattes here are colorful, like the purples and the greens, but the shimmers pretty much are in the same family that Pat does shimmers. However, this is like a rainbow palette in my opinion, and a good rainbow palette. I really love this palette, so I actually do not mind, and I do think they kind of look similar. I do like that this one is smaller and there's not so much space in between each shade, and the quality is really good. I prefer this quality. This is the quality from the 5 panners that we're gonna get into in a little bit. The eyeshadows are softer and none of the mattes are like these, like pressed mattes. They're more creamy. Let me see if any of the shades are the same. I did find a dupe. So the shade Flame Fatale is Fatale, I don't know how to say that. Flame Fatale is the same, but it doesn't look the same. Wait a second. They are so different. What? Oh, no. I see what's going on here. So the 2022 Mega Mothership had Flame Fatale in a matte formula, and the new palette has Flame Fatale in a shimmer formula, which is obviously they're both fiery, but super, super different, super gorgeous. Okay, these are the only like comparisons. Obviously, I could like compare some of the golds, but off the top of my head, just looking at these palettes, none of them are like exact dupes. I will only swatch like the top kind of highlighter shade from both palettes, which they already look so different. So this is the new palette C, way more soft, way more interesting and dimensional than the 2022 version, and I did adore that palette. So this is the 2022 one, this is the new one. Look at that difference. So, and it's not supposed to be the same shade, I'm just comparing shades that look similar to one another. So seeing that makes me so happy. This palette is going to be way more valuable for me because the quality is that much more interesting. Awesome. So yeah, no exact dupes, nothing like that. The quality, not the quality, the formula is also different. You could prefer this one. I do prefer the other one. Still love this palette though. Pulled out this guy, which is from the holiday collection from last year, but possibly some misconnection here because it looks like the Bridgerton series. I don't know what happened there. But anyways, this is so different. I will check if there's any shades. I don't think so. Celestial Celadon. Did I have this here? Oh my god, their names are so complex. No, different one. Yeah, no shades comparable to this one, but I did pull it out because it's a holiday lunch. And then we got the minis, which the quality, the formula here is the same that is in this palette, which I like to see because these are some of my most used palettes. So we got the Nude Allure eyeshadow palette. This one is a little bit more cool toned, so I don't necessarily see any dupes right away, and I don't think this palette has any of these shades. The only thing we compare is like these two shades to these two shades. Like they kind of look like one another, but nothing else. So these two are from the new palette, and the ones from the older palette, the matte is very deep compared to this one, but then the shimmers are kind of similar. This one is a little bit more duochrome in the new palette rather than the warm in the old palette. Well, it's not old, it's just older. But yeah, not a dupe and none of the repeat shades in the Nude Allure. Then we're gonna take this guy, which I don't remember when this came out, but this is the Lunar Nightshade. I think maybe it actually came out this year, but this is an absolutely gorgeous color story as well. I thought that this might have some of the similar shades, but I don't think it does. Yeah, it actually doesn't. But if you look at the color stories, the vibes are there, right? With the purples and the blues, like the vibes are there. This is just way more cool toned and like truly blue and purple. I love this palette. I do want to compare this middle shade, the Pale Amethyst, to the Lilac shade in this palette. I know they're different. This one is Platinum Lilac, but I still do want to compare. Platinum Lilac is in the new palette, feels way softer, and this one feels way less lilac-y. So yeah, this is more of a champagne mixed in with a little bit of lavender, and this one is truly lavender. And you can see how much more reflective the shades in the new palette are anytime I compare them to any older palettes. It is absolutely insane how much I'm enjoying the quality on this. This is really good. Okay, so lastly, we're gonna look at the palette Bronze Bliss, which is where I found the exact dupe. And yes, I should have known. This shade is actually my favorite shade from any holiday launches by Pat McGrath. So besides her motherships, this is my favorite shade. And this shade is a repeat. It's right here. And that is just such a gorgeous palette for a smoky or bronze eye. And this is like silvery, like bronzy shade. Yeah, the exact same formula. So this is the old palette, this is the new one, and they feel the exact same and they look the exact same, which is what we want to see because we don't want any inconsistencies in the shades that have the same name. This is one of the most impactful eyeshadows I own, not only within the Pat McGrath family, but in general. And I am actually pleased to see it right here that she kind of added it into another palette. So after swatching everything and trying everything and comparing this palette to other palettes, I'm actually super happy with it. It's definitely lacking in the matte shades department, color-wise and quantity-wise. However, the shimmers are so beautiful, and I still feel like this palette is versatile. I could do a bronze smoky, I could do a pink look, I could do a neutral look, I could do this silvery all over the lid, or blue or purple. I feel like I could do a lot with this palette, and I'm really enjoying the shades in here. I'm glad I picked it up. I will play more with this in the next couple weeks, but let me know if you picked anything up from this collection, because there's a lot of little eyeshadow duos and some other stuff that I wasn't personally interested in. What did you pick up? What do you think of Pat? What do you think of this palette? Let me know in the comments below, and thank you so much for watching this video. I will see you in the next one. Bye.